Hi, my name's Nicole Altamirano. I am interim CEO of Silicon Valley Pride and co-chair of the Hey Girl Committee. I wanted to take a moment to reflect on and remind our community that Pride was not always rainbow and glitter. Pride started out as a riot that was spearheaded by two trans women of color that were sick and tired of police brutality and fed up with the persecution of the LGBTQ plus community. We have come a long way since then, but the fight for equality is not over. We will not stop until every marginalized community and persons are afforded equal rights. This is the reason that Silicon Valley Pride stands in solidarity and unwavering support of Black Lives Matter. We will be relentless in our pursuit for equality for all. That is what equality rising looks like. Black Lives Matter. This is a call to action. There is no more standing on the sidelines in the fight for equality. We need each and every one of us to stand loud and proud. Speak up if you hear something that is belittling or diminishing to a marginalized group. Do something if you see unfair practices at your workplace. Say something if your family or friends have something to say negative about a marginalized group. This is not the time to stay silent. It is only united that we will truly see equality rise. If they come for one of us, they have to answer to all of us. Hey Girl is a collaborative subcommittee of Silicon Valley Pride that organizes and promotes events targeted to female-identified, queer, trans, and non-binary individuals. My name is Nicole Altamirano. I am interim CEO of Silicon Valley Pride and co-chair of Hey Girl.
And I'm Liz Esborno, fellow co-chair of Hey Girl. Hey Girl got started a couple of years ago. I was really missing the women's community, especially around Pride time in San Jose. Back in the old days, after Pride, San Jose Pride being down in the meadow at that time, all the women after Pride was over would head over to the Savoy on Lawrence and El Camino and just have a women's party, for hours into the night after Pride. And I was introduced to Brian Rodriguez, who is, or was anyway, the head volunteer person. And he and I started communicating by email. And he, in 2018, invited me to come to the Silicon Valley Pride board meeting here at Billy DeFrank Center. So I showed up, and Brian was there, and Nicole was there, and a few of the other board members were there. And we went around the table, and everybody was kind of introducing themselves and saying what their affiliation was. And it came to me, and I just introduced myself as being from the San Jose Women's Softball League, and pitched my idea about throwing some kind of a women's party in association with Pride. So I gave my little pitch, and Nicole, chief executive officer of operations at the time, said that she loved the idea, and yet her vision was way bigger than mine. And it was from her vision that Hey Girl blossomed into something much bigger than my idea of throwing a party.
Liz came in and she had this recommendation. She wanted to see more women out, especially out in our community, out at events. And I had the same thought, and I just didn't know where to begin. And with her idea, I was like, yes, let's do this. And that's when we developed the Hey Girl Collaborative Committee. And the way we named Hey Girl was, we were brainstorming, okay, we want to do these events. We want to bring the whole female-identified, queer, trans, non-binary community together. So it's not just focused on lesbians. We want to be inclusive of all. And so we were like, well, what are we going to call it? And Liz's like, I don't know. What's up, Hey Girl? And we were like, that's it. That's what we want to call it. And that's how Hey Girl was born. And since then, we've done fashion shows, we've done Halloween costume parties, happy hours, lip sync contest, speed dating.
But Nicole's vision was, we need to get women together more than once a year. Let's do stuff monthly or every other month. And so when we first got started, we were doing about every other month. But the biggest deal of all is that it all is meant to bring women together and let them know that in 2018, for the first time, I believe, we had our own female-focused area, dedicated area to women or the female queer community. And we had our own stage, and we brought in vendors that were sort of specific to female-oriented concerns. And it was just such a great feeling to have something specifically for women.
I think so. I can't wait to see where Hey Girl goes. I want a brand name. I want when people come to the South Bay and looking for something for women to do, hey girl, come out. Yeah. So our partners are the Billy D. Frank Center, the Rainbow Women's Chorus, Play, which Liz just brought up. We also have NorCal Girl Pages, and I think
DJ Danny G.
Oh, and DJ Danny G. That's our resident DJ. You know, all female identified, come out, support. You know, we are your people.
Yes, we are.
When Hey Girl was first conceived, I went, oh, this is like the last word we ever wanted to use way back when in the feminist Women's Liberation Day, girl as a diminutive. But you know what? Everyone convinced me it was okay. And so I wanted to join because Silicon Valley Pride and the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ plus Community Center work so well together that I wanted to be part of this. And that's why we have the Hey Girl Coming Out, Going Out group at the Billy DeFrank Center. And we have all these events everywhere. And it was time that women started collaborating with each other across all the different women's groups, organizations that were all flailing all by themselves. And now we are like this network all over the place. And it is so successful, even during COVID, even while we're just online. And I must admit, the Coming Out, Going Out group is really just coming out right now, and we can't wait to be going out.
Hi, my name is Nicole Altamirano. I'm interim CEO of Silicon Valley Pride. And before we get started on this fabulous digital celebration, I want to take a moment to reflect on a few things. First, I would like to remember and honor our former CEO and board president, Thaddeus Campbell. Thaddeus Campbell became board president of Silicon Valley Pride in 2014. Back when he took over, Silicon Valley Pride no longer had a parade, and its attendance was dwindling down close to nothing. From that day, Thaddeus made it his mission to not only change the name from San Jose Pride to Silicon Valley Pride to be all-inclusive of geographical South Bay area, but also he wanted not only to bring geographical inclusion, but inclusion of the entire LGBTQ plus community. And since then, under his leadership, Silicon Valley Pride has grown, tripled in attendance, and brought to you all-inclusive events, including the Trans and Friends Rally, the Hey Girl Stage, and multiple platforms to highlight our most marginalized communities. Thank you, Thaddeus. We miss you, and we will continue the work that you set forth. With diligence and perseverance, we will make Silicon Valley Pride the most inclusive, diverse, high-tech vision that you had set forth back in 2014. We love you, Thaddeus.
My dream was to make this the most high-tech festival in the country to separate ourselves from all the other prides throughout the U.S. And so the dream is finally coming together. We started off with Google participating 2 years ago. Now this year Netflix is participating. I talked with Sam Ricardo at the march, and I whispered to Sam and said, Sam, now that Google is going to have a campus down here, I want Google to be a sponsor and a participant in next year's Pride. Sam leaned over to me and goes, not only Google, I'm also going after Twitter and everybody else.
Thanks for coming out to celebrate 11 year Pride. You guys made year number 40 super exciting. This is year number 41. You know, yesterday we started off with the night festival. That went better than expected. There's a lot of people here. Thanks again for coming out. But we are very, very fortunate down here in South Bay to have the support from all our political leaders that were on the stage today. I want to give a special thanks out to all of the members that helped pull this together. Murray, Toby, Uriel, my entertainment director, Troy Marco, who did a fantastic job putting together the show. And John worked tirelessly for this to happen. And I'm sure John is looking down on us now. And his husband, Gustavo, joined us today in celebration of this joyous occasion. So thank you all so much. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, and we're celebrating at Children's Discovery Museum.
Every year, Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose celebrates Pride in our very own way, in an event called Proud of My Family. These are some selections on our program today. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at the virtual Purple Museum. And you can visit our website to find out more about our Proud of My Family activities and see videos that are not featured here. Happy Pride, everybody!
Hello, everybody, and happy Pride! Today, we're going to be making our own pride flags. We'll talk a little bit about the meanings of the colors of the pride flag, and I'll also show you other examples of pride flags and talk about their significance. All right, so you ready to get started? June is Pride Month, where we celebrate and honor our LGBTQ plus communities. The museum every year hosts an event celebrating families, and specifically LGBTQ families, children, and their allies. LGBTQ stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, or queer. In 1977, Harvey Milk challenged Gilbert Baker, a veteran who taught himself to sew, to come up with a symbol of pride for the gay community. This is the original pride flag. It's inspired by Judy Garland's Over the Rainbow, and these colors flew at the San Francisco Gay Freedom Day Parade celebration on June 25, 1978. Each color celebrates an aspect of queer pride. This is the most familiar pride flag. In 1979, the community landed on the 6-color version, which was hung from lampposts in San Francisco. The colors on this pride flag represent red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight,
green for nature, blue for serenity or harmony, violet for spirit. In 2017, the city of Philadelphia adopted a revised version of the flag designed by the marketing firm Tierney that adds black and brown stripes to the top of the standard 6-color flag to draw attention to issues of people of color within the LGBTQ community. This is like the traditional pride flag, but with 2 colors of black and brown stripes added. The black stripe stands for diversity, the brown stripe stands for inclusivity. Graphic designer Daniel Quasar added a 5-colored chevron to the LGBTQ rainbow flag to place a greater emphasis on inclusion and progression. Quasar's Progress Pride flag adds 5 arrow-shaped lines to the 6-colored rainbow flag. The flag includes black and brown stripes to represent LGBTQ communities of color, along with the colors pink, light blue, and white, which are used on the transgender pride flag. Flags are a powerful symbol of pride. Today we're going to make our own pride flags. So did you enjoy making your own pride flag? Hold it up high and wave it around. Show your pride.
Hello everyone, my name is Maria from the Tech Interactive and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. We are so excited to celebrate Silicon Valley Pride with you. We love getting together with everyone in Plaza de Cesar Chavez every year just outside our Big Mango home. We want you all to know how much we miss being together with our community in person. And we're also working hard to bring all of the hands-on fun you find inside the Tech Interactive to you at home. If you visit thetech.org right now, you'll find the Tech Interactive at home and the Tech Interactive en casa. It's a one-stop shop for free, fun, STEM family learning you can do with materials you find at home, such as making some earthquake-safe structures, building a solar oven to make some s'mores, and even designing a mask for your favorite stuffed animal.
Way to iterate, designers!
And more. But today is all about celebration. So we thought we'd share some of our most colorful, joyful ways to be innovative and creative. A little later,
Decorate the face.
we're going to challenge families to complete a speed round of DIY inflatables, and you can join at home. You know those giant groovy decorations outside car dealerships? They really know how to make a statement and get the party started.
Here's a look at some of the materials and tools you'll need. You might want to take a picture and start gathering them now, but you can also do the activity anytime.
Remember, you can find the Tech Interactive at home and the Tech Interactive en casa activities through our website, thetech.org. I'm Maria from the Tech Interactive, and we hope to dance, celebrate, and innovate with you all again next year. Happy Pride!
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
Today I'm going to tell you my coming out story. I remember going back, even, you know, when I was very young, consciously choosing boys to have crushes on based on weird things. Like, there was a boy I really liked when I was in preschool, and I just was in love with him because he had red cowboy boots. You heard me. He had red cowboy boots. And so I was in love with him. If that doesn't scream gay, I don't know what does. I got married to a kid in 2nd grade. He was very nice, but we were in a 1-2 combo class, and then when I moved on to 3rd grade and he was still, you know, he was in 2nd grade at that point, I decided I was too old for him. So we decided not to get married. I would choose these boys because they felt safe to me, and in hindsight, looking at where they are now, I think a lot of the reason for that is because they're all gay now. And then in high school, when it got, you know, more serious, when people had actual boyfriends, I almost dated a lot of guys. Whenever it got close to turning into a real thing and, you know, they'd actually ask me out and it wasn't just like a little flirtationship, I would feel really sick, like to my stomach. And all my friends were like, oh, that's just butterflies, like you're supposed to feel that. And I was like, okay. And I would just shut down all communication and run away, and that would be the end of that relationship. During high school and even a little bit of late middle school, I was starting to have crushes on my friends that were girls. I did not recognize that they were crushes, mainly because I was terrified of being gay for some reason. And I think part of that came from the fact that actually all the lesbians I'd seen were fairly butch on the scale of femme to butch, and I'm very not that. So how could I possibly be gay? And if I was gay, then I'd have to be like that. So it just didn't make any sense to me. Now there was a girl who I went on a test date with because we were both exploring our sexualities and trying to figure out, you know, what's going on. And so we ended up going to a movie together and holding hands the whole time, even when our hands got sweaty, which is so pure. Just to see if, you know, there were feelings there, just to see if we were maybe queer. And after the movie, she was like, I'm so glad we did this. I said, me too. She goes, yeah, I definitely know that I'm straight. And I was like, me too. Single tear on the inside. So that went great. But it actually kind of did go great because then I knew there was something up with me. And I sort of tucked it away, but from that point on, I always knew it was there. My freshman year of college, I came out as bisexual to a bunch of my friends and my parents. My parents were chill. I actually came out to my parents with a 6-page letter. Look, I'm very thorough, and it discussed the different spectrums of attractions. We have sexual attraction, romantic attraction, aesthetic attraction. Where I fall in all of those, I'm pretty sure there were graphs. And what I didn't realize was that I didn't even mention that I was bisexual until like the 3rd page. And my parents read at different speeds. So my dad got to it way before my mom did, and it was just very confusing for everyone. And even though my dad reads pretty fast, it still took him a second. So I ended up sitting there for a few minutes, waiting, and that was terrible. Do not recommend. If you're gonna come out with a letter, 1 page or less, start with, I'm queer. That is my recommendation to you all. Pretty shortly after I got to college, I met this guy and we were friends, and we started dating, and we dated for almost a year. Let's just say it didn't go well. And I'll admit that I'm grateful to him because it was a crash course in pretty much everything that can go wrong in a relationship within the course of a year. And yeah, that sounds terrible, and it was, but what was awesome about it is I only had to go through 1 crappy relationship in order to learn all of that and learn what it was that I was really looking for. And I wouldn't say that he made me gay, but he definitely helped me realize it. I fully came out as gay my senior year of college. Basically, we had this new professor. She asked us to go up in front of the class, introduce ourselves, and say where we kind of pictured ourselves in 5 to 10 years. And I very casually slipped in that I hoped to have a wife. And I saw people like whispering to each other, but not in like a bad way, just like, oh, that's did she just say that? Yes, I did. And what's great is both, you know, at my alma mater and then also within the musical theater community, people are very chill about people being queer. I was mom at my college, everyone called me mom, and I sort of took care of the kids in the program that were younger than me. And one day I was with a couple of my guy friends as they were swiping through Tinder, and I was giving my opinion on the girls as they swiped through. They sort of peer pressured me in a good way to download Her, which is an awesome app for queer women. You can be looking for friends, you can be looking for someone to date, you can be looking for a hookup, like whatever you want to do, you can do it on this app. It's awesome. And the second person I talked to was some girl named Allie. I made it very clear that I just was looking for friends. She pretended to go along with that. We messaged for a while, we FaceTimed each other a couple of times because, you know, you gotta make sure that the other person isn't catfishing you or is like a murderer. That could happen. And the first time we hung out, which I'll have the two of us tell that story in another video, but the first time we hung out, it was all over. She left that night after we hung out, and I sort of just looked at myself in the bathroom mirror as I was getting ready for bed, and I was like, damn it, this is my wife. Terrible. Because I was gonna move and we only had 3 months to like figure out if this was gonna be a thing or not, which is crazy and like bachelorette level insanity. But clearly it worked out, so good for us, I guess. And of course, coming out is still an ongoing process whenever we meet someone new, or we're going to a new place, or working with someone. It's always a little something you have to figure out how to weave into conversation, which is always very interesting. I would definitely recommend coming out, but only if you're safe and supported. But if you have those two things in place, it's a really amazing thing to do and is just a huge weight off your shoulders. So yeah, that's my coming out story. Thanks so much for watching. That's all for now. I'll see you soon.